Deze is hartstikke Alex en Jeff.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I am Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss, and let's do this, guys. I hope everyone's doing great. Insiders, let us know you're there. Start sharing the show, start sharing the podcast, and get everybody on board and comment and let us know who's watching. We have a big show as we have just the last NASCAR term of the year ended. And man, it was a great one. It was cool to see. I haven't been to Toronto in years. I have not been to this tournament. But from what I heard from everyone and the promoters, it was a huge increase and, like close to like 300 to 400 more competitors than what they had the year before. So
deal. Especially this time of year.
Man. Yeah.
Everybody wants to have their tournament if they can. Like, oh, give me a tournament in April. Give me a tournament in May. Give me a tournament in September. And it's like, look at they increased by 300 to 400 competitors in the first week of December. That's a big deal.
That is. So pretty awesome, man. Great job to those guys. Mike Politi and John Politi for all the hard work they do. And I'm excited to talk about that too. Some of the things that I thought were really cool about the event that made it stand out. And again, guys, as you know, we are sponsored by the Virtual Fight Tour, and we are excited just to have them as a part of what we do here and to support everything in the Martial Arts Center Network. But as you know, we are at the end of the season. We are in December. We have a lot of fun things to end this year. Both of us are very big Christmas lovers. So,
Dude, I was wondering this, Jeff. Speaking of being Christmas lovers, was I late this year getting my Christmas sweaters going?
I don't think so.
I feel like I started later this year than I normally do. Normally, I'm like the whole month of November too. I feel like
that's true. I felt like you. I don't know. I just feel like when I vision you, you're always wearing something. So yeah. So I had to explain my family like who you are and stuff because something came in the mail for me today. So,
you didn't open it, did you? Did you open it?
I didn't. No, I did not open it. I didn't open it. So yeah, I was explaining how you were, and I'm trying to find that video of you dressed up as Buddy and to show it to them, so that way they understand. I haven't gotten to that yet. I'll probably do it tomorrow. But yeah, send it to me. But that's a great one. That's a classic one. If you guys hadn't seen that, man, you need to check that out. Maybe we'll put that on the show.
It's on my personal YouTube channel. You can just go and
it's pretty simple. Alex Dingman. Yes, Alex Dingman.
Right, let me go find this. So, maybe you could drop the link in the comments. Right. Who knows? I got no shame. I don't care.
That's true. All right, guys. So the Toronto International was a great event. I just got back. I had a crazy. Thanks, Alex. Alex. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much, and it was good seeing you. And excited to see some new people there as well, or some returners. So, this is where I want to start because I kind of want to go in order. Ooh, wait, no, hold on. I promised everyone to share my crazy travel experience with this, right?
Right. You did. You left us a teaser with that.
Yeah. So, all right. I was a little last minute. Okay. So I put in my request for my renewal for my passport, like when I left, like the week that I left for Miami. Okay. So I was kind of cutting it really close. So it didn't get here. And then I kept trying to check and it says, wait till 5 days before or 6 days before, then you can call to see about scheduling an appointment to come and pick it up and get it right in person. So luckily I'm only 3 hours from DC. DC is the closest to me. I can go to get a passport, right? But the only available time was 8:30 in the morning on Thursday. Go ahead.
Wait, you had to go all the way to DC to get a
Yeah.
passport?
That's where the passport agency is. Okay.
You can
So
like
there's
go to like
passport-
a mail like your post office or nothing?
not to get it expedited and get it fast, like in a day. No. You go to the post office, you go there, and then they send it off to the agency, then you get it back. They don't give it to you right there. So yeah, you can't get it expedited right then. No. So
I feel like I did that at the post office.
I
Maybe
don't know,
it's because you're out. I feel like you live in a geographical like anomaly.
Travis had to do something like this too, okay, before. So he had to go to Atlanta, and then he ended up having to go to Dallas. And my stepdaughter had to do the same thing before. So it's a lot of different things, right? But
Man.
so mine didn't come in time. And so I had to go there, right? Well, the only time available was like the day of my flight, okay, at 8:30. The problem is my flight was at like 11:15. And I really had no clue how long this was going to take. And they didn't really give you any idea either, right? And so I purchased another, what's up, Andrew? Another flight as well at 4:00, just so that way I would make sure I get there, right? So I got there 7:45. I'm always early. They said
7:45 for a what flight?
an 8:30 appointment. Yeah, an 8:30 appointment. So I
you
left.
got there 7:45 just for the appointment. Wow, that is
So
early.
I left my house at like 4 a.m, right? So
You're crazy.
yeah, because I did not do the show, or I did something. I don't know. I did something that night. I had private lessons that night. What's up, Leandro? And so anyway, so I went there, and then honestly, that was a smooth process. It was pretty cool. But I was sitting in DC for a little bit. Finally got it at like 10 o'clock, but there was no way for me to make the next that flight, right? So then I'm just like, okay, well, I'm not going to make that flight. So, but I had the 4:15, so I have about 5 hours to do nothing. So I went to the Air and Space Museum, which I definitely suggest you guys to go to.
Oh, that's
really
cool spot.
So many awesome planes and stuff. I didn't even go to the space side. I just focused on the planes. It's a lot. Like it takes a lot, right? And then
planes are cooler anyway. The
planes are way cooler. Yeah. So, anyways,
also fake.
Went. See, never mind. So then we went. I went. I'm just like it was just me. So got to Dulles. Got there. Got to Canada. Great, fine. My seminar was at 8 o'clock. Okay, I landed at 6. I got to the hotel at 7. Okay, so I was cutting it close. Then come to find out I wasn't like at the correct hotel. Well, no, I wasn't staying at the hotel that the seminar was at. I thought I was. So I went to check in. They're like, oh no, you're not this one. I was like, oh yeah, you're at the Garden Inn. Okay, but the seminar's here. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep my stuff. So I have all my bags, everything. Go up, do the seminar. Jared Likers before me. They were doing seminars from 1 to 9, right? I was the very last one. And then after that, I had 2 private lessons. So
wow,
I didn't get to, and then I went to eat. And so I didn't get to my room until like midnight, right? So it was a crazy trip in. And then on the way back, I realized, oh, wait, you should have I just didn't do it properly as far as canceling my flight. So I ended up having to buy another one on the way back too. So it was just a little bit extra than what I needed, right? And then guess what? Today I went to the post office and I got another passport, right? So
you have 2 of them.
I have 2 passports now. So yeah. Hey, yeah.
Can I bring it up now? No, I'll wait till you're done.
Go ahead now. Go ahead now. Getting there was interesting.
Okay. Troy, you didn't steal my thunder, but you kind of like preemptively kind of brought it up. Yes. For those of you guys who were listening and not watching, I am wearing a Christmas sweater. I wear a Christmas sweater every single episode in the season. And I was talking to Jeff before the show. I'm like, was I late to wear Christmas sweaters this year? I don't know. I feel like maybe I start wearing them earlier than I did this year.
You said that on the show. And you said that on the show. You just said.
Oh yeah, my bad. But this part was this part was off the show, as I said, listen, I'm wearing my Minnesota Timberwolves sweater that Troy Sexton gave to me, by the way. Thanks, homie. And I said, listen, you're never gonna believe this, but my Minnesota Timberwolves, yes, this is true, have the best record, not in the division, not in the conference, but in the National Basketball Association. Yes, you are hearing this correct. The Minnesota Timberwolves have the #1 record in the league. It is not 2004. Kevin Garnett is not walking through the tunnel. Sam Cassell and Latrell Sprewell are not streaking up and down the court. Not streaking, but running. But anyway, I'm telling you, man, this is wild. Yes, I love the Ant-Man. This is amazing. He's a for real dude. Never did I think the Minnesota Timberwolves had the best record in the league. And I'm wearing this stuff proud, baby.
That's crazy.
What did you just put? Awesome. Did you put that link in there?
I just put the link. Yeah. So the link I just put in is the link for you guys to watch Alex Dingman show how much he loves Christmas and how.
Can I tell you the story behind that? Have I already told you the story?
We've heard it before, but yeah, let's get into the rest of our stuff because we got a lot of people that want to hear about what we thought about the tournament and I guess my experience and everything as well. So yes, it's been a year. It has been an awesome year. And congrats to you. I think Anthony had a great weekend at Tony Young's tournament. So
fantastic. Congratulations.
You're in championship. So all right.
I dig that, dude. I like him.
So here's something I want to start with because I talked about the seminars, right?
Yeah, keep going with that.
One way that promoters can get back seminars, and this is something that this tournament has done for years. And
that's a great point.
You think, okay, well, there'll be some seminars and that'll be cool. And I said, man, there's a lot of people giving seminars, there's a lot. Thursday, it was like, just one at a time, right? And it was in a smaller room and they had people the whole time. I didn't get there too late, so I don't really know. But I know people that were there from 1:00 all the way to 9 doing as many of the seminars as they could, right? Taking advantage of it, right? So it was really cool to see. Friday, though, they started at 9 a.m. and they had all 6 rings with 4 to 5 seminars going at once, right? So, and they're coordinating it like a tournament, all right? And so you have Casey Marks over here doing bow. You got Mason Stowell doing forms. You got myself doing Korean. You got Justin Ortiz doing something. You got Bailey doing something. You got
Ambassador was in the building. Man,
you got Juliana teaching stuff. You got Julian from Canada. You got Tommy from Canada doing stuff. You have so many different people. Jared Liker. I mean, I know I'm missing people. There were so many people doing stuff. And the thing is, there's like 200 to 300 people there. And they're just saying, all right, this seminar is in. You got 5 minutes. Next seminar, switch. You guys go to wherever you want to. So there are people that are there from the beginning all the way to about 1:30, and then the tournament started at 2. To me, I was like, oh, this is crazy. This is chaos. No, it was really cool, right? Rashad, Jared, yeah, so many great people, right? And it was really cool to see just how much, really, to me, that's giving back to the sport, right? Having all those guys there to do free seminars. I know many people who just signed up to compete so that way they could do the seminar. All right.
Well, that's what I was just going to ask you. So if you compete, the seminars are free.
Yep.
And then the promoter has an agreement with each person doing the seminar and he's paying you guys.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
and how many people were teaching seminars?
There's a good amount, probably 10, maybe more, but it was a good amount.
That's a lot.
But, it's
really
a lot.
Cool.
But it was cool because it had this. It was like you were watching a tournament, but it was really a seminar, right? And seminars over and over and over. Yeah, over a dozen. And so it was really cool to see. And I thought that was a good way to start it, and also a great thing for him to do for not only the Toronto area, but even just Canada in general, right? To because you don't always see these guys, right? And so to bring those in, so it was pretty neat to see. So that's something that I think is a cool thing as well that they did.
But
So
if you look at it from like an instructor or like a parent's perspective, yeah, you would want
yeah, it's
your
cool. Yeah.
student or child or what have you, you would want them to take advantage of this. Be like, when's the next time even you're going to get an opportunity to take a seminar from Justin Ortiz at a tournament? You may not get that one.
You
And
may
he's
not. Yep.
here and you're here and it costs you nothing.
Yeah.
What?
It's huge, right?
It costs you time,
Exactly.
which is valuable, but when you're a kid, you ain't got
Right.
nothing to do with your time.
Yeah. I mean,
Wow,
it's cool to
that's
see,
impressive.
you know, like even and the cool thing was when you saw like high level competitors taking the
Doing
seminars,
them
you know,
too.
like, yeah, like you see Pia doing the Casey Marks seminar, right? You see, you know, I think Diego did one of them. I'm not sure where he was at on that. You saw like Cameron Klaus doing Jared Liker's seminar. You know, a lot of these guys, you know, everyone's like, hey, why not? You know, I'm going to learn. You know, I saw
Well, I think
other fighters. A lot of fighters were doing Bailey and Justin Ortiz seminar. Like it was really cool.
I think that's the right way to do it. And if somebody like, let's say Tony Young was given a seminar, yeah,
Right.
every fighter should line up for something like that. I think it gets tricky when, let's say Avery Plowden's given a seminar.
Yeah.
And just Cam Dawson's probably not going to take that seminar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, does Christian Rivas take that seminar?
I don't know.
You know,
Why not?
now I humbled myself, and when Avery would do seminars like at my school, like I took them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As much as I could, because I'm also trying to, you know how it is when you got people in your
Yeah,
school, like you're
join
trying to,
sport.
you know, play puppet master and, you know, control all the strings at the same time and make sure everything's okay. But anytime that I could step in, like I just stepped in, right? Because I mean, what is it? Like you got to do it, but there's a competitive nature that, like, no, I'm not going to do it. And I remember actually, I'll tell you a story about that. It was funny. I remember having a conversation with Elias Lemon, and Raymond Daniels was given a seminar somewhere in Minnesota, and he goes, I want to take the seminar, but I can't take the seminar. And I'm like, dude, why? I'll take it. And he's like, I can't do it. All right. I'm like, ugh, wow. I think I came to the realization earlier than he did that, like, listen, just give it up. If it was somebody else, I could understand, Elias, but just give it up. You know what I mean?
Right. Hey man, I someone had that conversation with me today. So hey, I understand. You got to be, you know, you got to just be tough. You got to push through. So I don't know. That's a hard one. I'm gonna skip over that topic. That's a little bit tough for me right now to talk about. But anyways, but I like the idea of taking the seminars of different people and stuff.
Absolutely.
So and learning and such. So it was really cool. All right. Another thing that they did, and a big shout out to Andrew for this, seniors being recognized. So there was the 30 plus senior grands, and then they also had the overall grands for extra 500, right? So the 4 senior 30 plus winners went against each other. The 2 women winners and the 2 men winners went against each other, and for an extra 500. Now then the same thing happened for the 50 plus. So it was really cool to see the 30 plus and 40 plus winners on stage featured in the finals, and then also the 50 plus. So, and then they also, awarded the, yes, I will. They also awarded, a good prize money and overall prize money as well for the senior grands as well. So was really cool to see that. I even got to see, like, even some of the kids went up, it's like, they're putting the seniors on stage. That's so cool. Like they were excited to be able to see that, right? See the people that judge them a lot, that help out, and that were featured.
Instructors.
Right. And then, but so the winner of that one was John Kim for the 50 plus, and he put on a great show. and also Eric Tremblay won the 30 plus. All right. So yes, Andrew, I will talk about the daytime. All right. So I had a good weekend, a solid weekend as well. They did a Korean challenge. I'll get into that in a little bit, but I won my musical forms and musical weapon. I mean, in creative weapons divisions. So I was in the grands on Saturday. So weapons happens, creative weapons happens, or that grands happens. I go last, right? I'm going against. I don't know the guy. I don't remember the guy's name. You remember Andrew from NMAC from Canada, strong competitor. And then
which
also
weapon are you using?
I'll get to that. And then
Oh,
I'm going against
okay.
Eric Tremblay, of course. Right? So Eric Tremblay is doing a traditional sword, and I'm doing my commas, and I have my nunchuck, of course, tucked in my uniform like I normally do, right? The hidden weapon, right?
Nice.
So where I was at, there wasn't really bottled water. All there was to buy was like the box water, right? So, you know what I usually do, the water bottle, I smash it over my head, right, to get pumped up. Okay.
No, you did not.
Yes, Richard Heavy. So Friday I did it, and it was fine. I just kind of did it like this, right? Well, I was so pumped up, I didn't even think about like not like overdoing it. So I turn it, I hit this, and it explodes
Please tell me.
everywhere. So I'm in the back of the ring. Water went all the way to David Bassinet, who was the center judge. Okay, that's how crazy it was.
That's
It like was
amazing.
like a bomb exploded. Okay,
The mats get
and
soaked.
oh yeah, they got soaked. And the thing is, I'm the one that's getting, you know, I'm the one that's having to do it. So I do my form on a soaked ring. I didn't really slip or anything like that from the water. So I felt like I
You
did a
can't
solid form.
you can't stop it and say,
No,
no, we got to clean this up because you're the one
yeah,
who
yeah.
did it.
I'm the one that did it. So I know that that's gonna, you know, the kids from Revolution, everything help me clean it up. I go back and clean up more, right? So yeah, Leandro helped clean it up, but I had to go back and do even more because they were not happy about that, right? So it was all right. Eric won that one. I felt like I did a solid form. So did he. So it's a tough, you know, a tough grand. If you really think about it, man, the grands in the senior division men's, especially men's right now, is killing it. It's really hard. Congratulations to my good friend Dana Mitten for winning her forms grand, and then also Ashley Bartlett for winning her weapons grand. They won in the women's division. Now we get to the forms. Okay, so the forms division is Ryan Shields, who is someone I competed with big time, and in NBL, right? And then Eric Tremblay and myself. Okay, I go second this time, and I won musical, but there was no box, and so they said, just do your creative." So I did creative, and I felt like I hit a solid form. We all did, and we have a 3-way tie. All the judges, there was only 3 judges for a grand, which that shouldn't have happened, which was a big issue to begin with. There we have a 3-way tie, so every judge gave a different score. You know, completely flip flopped, right? And so they're like, all right, you guys got to go again. So we went again. Someone finally was able to get a box for me. So actually, yeah, Amanda and Leandro got the box for me. So I'm like, all right, what music? Let's see what I have on my playlist that's downloadable and, you know, is clean and everything. So I found Vanilla Ice Go Ninja. So I did my form to Ninja Rap, and it was pretty cool. It was awesome. I
Go
hit all,
Ninja, go Ninja, go.
yeah, so I hit all the beats with my kicks and stuff. It was a lot of fun. Guess what? Another 3-way tie. So
Stop. Now, see, this is
yeah,
just
3-way tie. So yeah, it
they're
happened again.
penalizing you for them not making a decision. And at that point,
They all actually all 3 of them made a decision. No one gave the same score. The problem
but
was
okay,
with
but
that
let me ask you a question.
thing. What?
Were any of these ties breakable?
No, that's why
Like
we had to
you
do it.
really could not break them.
No, they were all complete different. No one gave the same score. That's what I'm saying. That's why in a grand you have to have 5 judges. Like you have to. So yeah, it was legitimate both times. And then so we go again. I'm like, all right, well, guess what else is on my playlist? The only thing else I got. What? Guess,
Intergalactic?
yep. So I did Intergalactic.
Nice.
And yeah, I guess they didn't really like it. So, we got 5 judges, but yeah. So, but here's the deal. It was
Yeah.
it was a really tough grand. I'm doing my creative forms. Eric is doing Anandai, and Ryan Shields was doing I can't even think what form was he doing, Andrew, but he was doing awesome, right? His Japanese form as well. So congrats to those guys. Eric ended up winning. He had a big weekend. And you know what? He's hard to beat because he doesn't make mistakes that often. All right. And
Who?
almost
Who?
never. Eric Tremblay. Yeah, Chibana Kusanku. That's the one he did.
I mean, he
So
doesn't make mistakes,
right.
but it's
So
always the same. I mean, like Eric Tremblay has been 34 for the last 27 years, right? I mean, like I literally think each night he goes into a cryo chamber, and that's how
it's
he
true.
sleeps. All right,
It's
because
true.
I mean, really, he's been 34 for 27 years. All right, so you got to give it to the guy with that, because yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, there you go.
Yeah.
It's this, but that's the only problem. Is it's the same form, but you can't really penalize the guy because
Right. He's doing
I
it
mean,
in his
you watch John Su for 5 years do the same form, but it was
Right.
vast
It's
difference
good.
between John Su and Eric Tremblay, though.
That's your opinion. So to some people, so
Wait, no, that's not an opinion. There's a vast difference
that
between
is
John
your
Su
opinion.
and Eric
That is your
Tremblay.
opinion. This is how you get us in trouble, okay?
No. Listen, I have praised the man, but don't tell me that these two are the same. Eric Tremblay is not the same as John Su.
Okay, that's
Are
fine.
you kidding me right now?
I'm not saying anything right now, okay? I'm trying to get to the next story. Listen, in my opinion, yes, John Su is one of the best of all time. So
That's
yes, so
all right.
there.
All right, we
Yes.
can move on.
Okay. You don't have to, geez, drag me down in the sewer with you. My God.
Who? Anyway,
All right. So the next part, so seniors being recognized, that was awesome. All right. As far as top winners, one of the things that was cool was that there was a lot of a Mexican presence there. And we got to see one of my favorite fighters we hadn't seen in a while, and Zayn there. So it was cool to see Zayn back. He won the open weight division. And he also won the heavyweight grand as well. So was cool to see him back competing. And he wasn't the only one from Mexico. There was a lot of competitors from Mexico there. The lightweight grand champion winner, Bruno, I believe his name is Bruno Diaz. He is from Mexico as well. We got to see Kayla Mejia back. Kayla Mejia Gagnon. Yep, she was awesome. She was competing against Katarina in a lot of different divisions, and had some great fights with her. All the way to the up to the end. But yeah, Bruno Diaz had a great fight. Both of the fights started out like for the overall grands. It was both of them were Mexico versus Canada. All right, for the grands. Okay. And both started out like it was going to be a runaway, and then they both end up being like down to like the wire at the very end. So was exciting to see that. Zayn won the open weight over a guy from Leclerc's. I don't remember his name. But yeah, so it was cool to see that. Katarina won the open weight over Savannah Wolaniliak. And then you have she won the women's grands over Kayla. All right. So
yeah,
great fighting overall. One thing that was cool. All right. So Jared Liker is on the microphone, right? He's doing the announcing
commentary.
And he just kind of felt like, all right, I got to get the crowd back in it, right? I got to get the crowd back in there. He goes, all right, here's the deal. I'm excited for some fighting. Here's my deal. If anyone tonight, I'm going to up the ante. Anyone tonight 10 spreads their opponent, I'm going to personally pay for your flight, hotel, and registration to the first NASCAR tournament of the year to Chicago. He says this, right? Next thing you know, like the fights get intense, and everyone's yelling because they think Zayn's going to 10-point. All right, this guy. All right. And yes, DJ were playing tunes during the fight. Yes,
Oh,
Andrew.
that would drive me bonkers. Oh my
Um,
goodness. Both as a
so
spectator and a fighter, but I got to hear this. Continue.
so anyway, so Zayn is like almost at like 7-point spread, right? And everyone is in the end zone, get the spread. And guess what? This dude is coming back. All right. I think it's he's from NMAC, and he's from Canada as well. And he's coming back. Next thing you know, he's up. Zayn's down by like 2 points. It was just so crazy back and forth. And it ended up being a really close fight, and Zayn pulled it off at the end. But yeah, it was an intense fight. And then the same thing with the lightweights, man. They went back and forth. You have competitor from Duvries. Yes, Jacob Roch was who that was. And then we have a competitor from Duvries versus Bruno Diaz. So it was cool to see the fights. Damon said he's watching. I love the Kayla versus Katarina fight. Thought Kayla fought her all weekend really well in a smart way, and just got that close, right? Yes, Andrew was definitely a great DJ. He stayed. He was DJing during the whole thing, and then as soon as it finished, he kept doing some extra stuff for the kids and everyone to have some fun after the show. So it was awesome.
I would have loved to have been there for that. That would have been great. Yeah, Damien, I'm a Timberwolves fan. You must have been late to the pod tonight because I said that, yeah, my Minnesota Timberwolves have the best record in the National Basketball Association. Everybody, because right now, you know what everybody's doing right now? They're like, no way. Everybody's looking it up. When I said that, they're like, no, they don't. No, they don't. Yes, they do. The Boston Celtics and the Minnesota Timberwolves have the best record in the NBA. Continue.
Wow. But yeah, so
I gotta tell you,
great. Yeah, go ahead.
I think mixing during fights, yeah, that would drive me bonkers.
We've always did that. Yeah.
But Andrew DJ in the after party, I've listened to some of his mixes on Mixcloud. Dude, he's got some great mixes. I dig him. I just listen to him in the car sometimes. Right. And what I love them because they give me ideas like, oh, that's a great transition. I should do something like that. I should do something like that all the time. Someone was telling me at the Diamonds, they were like, oh, you should DJ the Diamonds. I'm like, I'm not bringing all my gear 2 states over for a party because certain areas just have certain cultures. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe I could change it, but it's highly unlikely. But
all right. So as far as the fights, I mean, it was a long weekend, a long day. So I was really busy. But I didn't get to see as many fights as I want to. Shout out to Nick Kane for winning the overall senior grand. He won the 30 and the 40, or he beat the winner of the 40 as well to win the overall 30 plus grand. So congrats to him.
He was probably reffing too, wasn't he?
Oh, he was reffing some during the day. He was competing, doing forms, weapons. Yeah, so it was intense. But
he's
awesome
a great
job
ref too.
Yes, he is. And so in my comment here it says 13 forms is a lot for this 39-year-old. So I did 13 forms this weekend. All right. I think I signed up for six division, but I did 5 divisions. So signed for I only did 5. I didn't do the traditional weapons that morning. And so I did the Korean challenge that Friday. Okay. So forget about that. That's 3. So that's 3 forms, right? This one was my toughest yet. Okay. I did my first form and I slipped. So I got 3rd in the first round. Okay. I recovered enough to not fall on my face, but I got 3rd in the first round. So William Smart wins the first round. Second place is Brendan Frederick, who has been my student for the past year. I've been training him and getting him ready. So it was really cool for him to beat me, but also guess what that means? We're going head to head in the next round, right? So
just so that I can understand, William Smart, he's the guy from LeClaire's, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's the one. That guy, he should be modeling somewhere for like Abercrombie 20 years ago. All right. You seen this guy with his perfect jawline and his painted on facial hair and his turquoise
on
looking
facial
eyes?
hair.
Get out of here with your beautiful self. You don't need to do karate. Get out of here. I said that to his face, by the way.
Oh, you did. And he's taller too. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, he is.
No. So
Isn't he like 6'1", 6'2"? Get out of here. Go do a runway shoot or something like that. Let us do karate. Because we need it.
well, that's right. We need it. So he won. Fourth place was Nathan. I think it's Siegert is how you say his last name, and he is from
I know what
PKS
you're talking
as well, right? So those four were the ones. So next, I'm like, all right, I gotta come
you gotta
back from
kill it now.
behind and kill it. So I went against Brendan. I believe he did Kun San Kun. I did Oyam. I won that round 2-1. Then the next round was a crazy one because, well, here's the deal. Nathan Siegert is really good. People sleep on this guy. He's just had some bad luck and had some slips, you know?
Yeah.
So he
takes
solid.
risks, is what you're saying, too.
And so
good.
Kim and William are going, and William, man, the very last move of his form, or Billy, sorry, like just completely stumbles really bad. And it was very noticeable. It was like, it wasn't like, you know, and so Nathan
no way
won,
you could hide it.
right. And so it was Nathan and myself in the finals. So, and I put out my best form for that, Gaybeck on that one, and did an awesome job, and you know, won that one 3-0. So that was one where I was like, man, I have to really dig deep for that one. That one just started, and that was to start my whole weekend, right? So right from there, I went straight over and did weapons, and
Wow.
again, kind of got I got saved by the Nick Kane on that one because he dropped, but and then waited the rest of the time for musical, which was at the end of the day. And same thing, like I couldn't get the music that I had planned to download. It wasn't downloading my phone. So that was where I picked Ninja Rap and just went from there. So, you know,
as you were talking about your music, you know, when you did Ninja Rap, which is still strange to me, and Intergalactic, anybody who's seen your forms over the last, 20 some years, it's an iconic moment. Everyone loves it because it's a fan favorite.
right.
I actually started thinking about this a couple weeks ago, but I don't know if I like Intergalactic more than I liked when you did Moni Moni.
Right.
I think the song Intergalactic is so much better than Moni Moni.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But when I think about the way you did the form to Moni Moni, I might like that better.
Because it was more choreographed, maybe?
Exactly. Because I remember thinking when he goes, yeah, like you hit the twist kicks with that. And it was so cool. And then when you held it, I'm like, my freaking goodness.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I don't know if I can do it anymore. But yeah. So well, yeah, so I had what's that?
I bet you could do a front kick though.
And no, I don't want to do that. All right.
Too much of this 39-year-old.
Yeah. So anyway, so I did 5 on Friday, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 forms, and then 8 forms with the 9 forms. Good God, never mind. Yeah. So that's more than I miscounted. So yeah.
Dude,
so 14 forms actually. So because I did Korean after the three-way tie, right? I was able to win that. Then we had a runoff, which is becoming the thing now. Every tournament now is pretty much running off everything the top 2, which helps the finals run smoother, I get. But man, like I got done at 6 and I'm having to be there at 7, you know? And then when I got there at 7, I found out, hey, we want you and Caitlin to demo the Korean challenge. I didn't know that was going to be in the beginning. I thought it was going to be later. So we did that together, which was fun because there wasn't any pressure, right? And you know, a lot of people like seeing both of us up there doing it. And for me right now, this year, it's all been about getting that division publicity. Now, here's the deal after this. Next year, like AKA, like these tournaments, we are bringing you 14 to 16, maybe more At AKA, it'll probably be over 20 in the Korean Challenge
Oh yeah.
because you're going to have 45 people from the AAU national team there, right? So
Yeah, I was thinking it's 30 plus.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we had 30 in our Korean division this year. All right. So the regular division. So we're going to have probably that in Korean Challenge. I'm sorry, but you can't tell me you can't afford to give prize money for a division like that that's bringing something. Like it's open weight level, right? So, and again, not just the person that wins it. I mean, if you make it that top 2, you work just as hard. So you give a runner up money. I mean, for that, you do that for men, you give it to women. It's well worth it. All right. Now again, I mean, there and many people's mind promotion. Well, they're coming anyway. Well, okay, but
No,
you know what?
that's the thing
That's
is
the thing. Eventually, they won't. You know what? And
they're
it's
coming
just
anyway until they're not.
right.
And
Show
this is the
appreciation.
thing. This is it, and it's such closed-minded thinking, and it's really shocking that it's closed-minded thinking from the people that are thinking that, because most of those thoughts are coming from martial arts professionals who run martial arts schools. So if
Mhm.
I were to ask you, Jeff, what's the one thing that makes your martial arts school most successful?
Oh well,
It-
new student, right?
But what is it? They just come in the door and then it's immediately just successful?
No.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like 100 things.
Yeah,
It's
there's so
100
many
things.
Yeah, there's never.
There's so
Yeah,
many
you're
things, and if you mess up one of them, yeah, you might be okay because you have 99 other things that you're knocking out of the park, but you don't know what that thing is that's going to keep that person there, right?
So
You
true.
have no
Yeah,
idea
that's so
what
true.
it's going to be, right? There's
Right.
it's a multitude of things. So to say, yeah, they're already coming, they are until they're not.
Right.
But let me ask you this, Jeff. How many things does it take to make that student quit?
Yeah, usually one.
One. It takes
Yep.
one thing to make that student quit and 100 things to keep them there.
Yep.
It's the exact same thing with a karate tournament. And the sucky part is sometimes, and this is why I really feel like karate tournaments, please, you got to help us help you, because you can't have a karate tournament without successful karate schools. You just can't. Because if there's not
No.
people, right, a culture of great martial arts schools to fill your tournaments, you no longer have one. You just don't,
Yep.
right? So someone could have a horrible experience at a karate tournament that doesn't have anything to do with your school, and they might just give up on the whole sport and activity. They could just
Right.
give up and be like, you know what, I don't
So-
want to do this. That is
So-
possible.
Funny that you said that, right? When we were in Miami,
Ooh.
actually, Leandro asked me this. Someone asked me, like, well, what? And he kind of had all of us sitting there and was like, well, what if you were the president of NASCAR? If you were head of this, what's the one thing you would do to help the sport or change? And it's funny to me because a lot of people think differently than I do, and I think a lot of people think small, like this one rule would change everything or change. What's this one rule? I'm like, dude, it has nothing to do with that. No, like, how are you going to get the freaking schools involved in this, right? How are you going to do something that educates the schools to make them feel like they can come in and then actually welcome them properly, right? What are the things like that's what we got to do. We have to teach people how to do our sport. And we have to go to the schools, not just, well, they didn't come, no, we have to go to the schools and be involved. And we have to really reach out and create some type of program that helps them learn how to do this properly, right? That's where, for me, I'll tell you what, I'm such a big fan. I've only won once, but I'm a big fan of AAU Taekwondo because guess what?
Yeah.
They had everything there for me. For me to learn how to coach, I did a 2-hour training,
And WT isn't that different.
No, it's not, to understand their rules, to be a judge. There's so many things, and there's a lot of different sources, and they offer different seminars and different things for you to learn about the league. So we need more of that, right? Um, I know I'm kind of got off, but I think that's something that because we kind of that's something very important. And here's one thing, I thought Mike did a great job of that because seminars is a first step. It's a first step towards that, right? So
It's a fantastic step.
yes, yes. All right, big winners as well. We talk about the fighting winners. These are the adult winners. We also, I mean, Eric Tremblay, John Kim, congrats as well on the senior winning. Mason Stillwell won the overall traditional grands. Killed it, did a great job. Always a pleasure sharing the stage with him. Yep, always a pleasure sharing the stage with him. Esteban Tremblay won the traditional weapons and the CMX forms grand. So he had a great weekend and a great competition. Rashad did a great job in the weapons. Actually, I'm sorry. He also won the CMX Forms Grand and the CMX Weapons. So yeah, he won. He won all that stuff. So he killed it. And then Rose from INMAC from Canada, she won both the women's forms and weapons grand. So she had an amazing weekend as well. So really cool. Weekend. We had similar top twos in most. It was Rose versus Caitlin for both the women's grands. Mason and myself in the traditional. Esteban and Rashad in both of the CMX, and then Esteban and Tommy Leduc in the traditional weapons. So, a big weekend for everyone. Let's see what teams for women was Katarina and Savannah. So they won that. So Katarina won everything. And then Impex K-Talk won the men's grand with let's see.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask what was that
Nico,
lineup?
yeah, Nico was there. Liam North was there, and then Hunter Stevens was their third. So,
Okay, that guy, Hunter Stevens. Let me tell you this: if Hunter Stevens really buckles down and is just like, no, I'm gonna be the business, he could be the best fighter in the world.
He has potential, man.
He has got
awesome
talent. He has got skill. But this whole sport is filled with talent and skill. I mean, Tyson Ray could be the best fighter in the world. You know what I mean? But Hunter Stevens, and I watched that guy and I went, okay. I think I mentioned this, but when Alonzo Payne fought him at international Infinity National Championships.
Yep.
And they went into overtime. And I remember thinking to myself, like, I told Zoe when he got off stage, I was like, because I reffed like the other ones, and they were like, "Oh, Alex, you don't judge, Zoe's fight because you guys are tight." And I told him, I was like, "Bro, you're lucky I didn't judge this one because you wouldn't have made it to OT." Because I just Hunter, he's so good, but he does weird things, like he does things where people can't see. You know what I'm saying? Like he's scoring in positions that like the fighter knows I just got beat, but I also know not everybody can see that.
Right.
It's possible I might get called. You might get that called, but it's also possible you don't. You know, whereas a more veteran fighter would know exactly how to make that clear.
Right. Right.
So I just think that guy, I was just so dang impressed with him. To hear him fight for them.
Yeah.
Buckle down, Hunter. Yeah. Keep training. Give Coach Plowden a call. I'm available.
Oh, man. Yeah. So overall, it was a great weekend. If anyone else has other things to add in there, I mean, there was so much great, and the juniors, there was a lot of great junior competition. I think it was a great tournament to finish the season with, but it wasn't like a downer where it was like, oh, this is easy competition. No, like every division was deep. They were really tough, hard. And it was cool to see different people than you don't always see on the circuit, that were good and get some shine. So it was great to see that. Congrats to all the winners. Congrats to all the grand champions, the junior champions. There's Amanda, there was Pia, Avery, Philip, Brume. Let's see. There's so many on here that I probably forgetting. Yeah, and a lot of the point chases were tight.
That's a good
So
point.
I know for me,
Point chases.
I think I lost mine by like 200 points or something like that. Like I think I needed Billy to like get third for me to win, something like that. So, but yeah, Gavin, yes, Gavin. Oh, Gavin Dollarhite, yes, man. Congrats to Gavin. I've known Gavin since he was like 5, 6, since he started. He lives only like an hour and a half from me, so was cool to see him win his overall grand. Savvy, yep, she killed it. She's been awesome all year long. So she won the Forms grand this time, and Amanda won the Duarte won the weapons, and then also I can't. I always forget this kid's name. I don't know why. He's one of Jared's guys. He helped him with all the seminars. Amazing competitor, and this was his first overall as well. He's on Amerikick as well. Blonde hair kid. Leandro, you got to help me, man. But Chris, what's up, man? All right, let's see what Chris has to say. Perfect tournament for those who are thinking about trying more nationals without the fear of the big events. That's a good point. Yeah,
that's a great point.
Yeah. Henry,
and it sounds like
Henry,
there was a fair amount of local-ish competitors.
Local, I mean, but there was a lot of
competitors with high talent.
Right, but there was a lot of people that were far away, like 8 hours away, like like the guys from Quebec and Montreal and stuff. They're not that close like people think. So there was it was really cool to see that. And good competitors from New York. Leclerc's was a big support. And they won the team demo with an all-female team, which is cool to see. So lots of great competition and fun. And again, for me, there's a good support and draw from Mexico, which is cool to see. All right, we are winding down at the end of this. Tips for the off season. This is this time where everyone now, and yes, lots of Michigan people, everyone now is preparing or recovering from this season and getting ready for next season, right?
Yeah.
So, Alex, what are some things that you want to suggest to people?
So I will let you handle the form side, and I will handle the fighting side. Okay. So from the fighting side, what I would say is accurately identify what is your weight class. What is your weight class that you're going to be in? And not to say that like you absolutely have to, like if you cut weight, if you go up, like that it's bad. Because some guys now that just like, let's look at Christian Rivas. I think he's fought in 3 different weight classes this year, right?
Yeah.
And he's probably won all 3 of them at one point. All right.
Yeah.
Which is great. The guy's a fantastic winner. All right. I'm not speaking to people at that level. All right. I'm speaking to the people trying to ascend to that level. Right. Because Christian really he shouldn't listen to me. Right. You should listen to your coach. Right. These are just random tips. But I think accurately identifying what weight class that you want to fight in is a really helpful one, because it may or may not be the right one for you. And let me explain. Cutting weight to get down to that weight class is not always the best thing. I don't think it's always best for this sport, right? As a whole, as athletes, if we are in our best physical condition, yes, that makes sense, right? But this is not full contact, all right? We do not have to worry about, being 5'10" and fighting at 194 pounds, right? If you're 5'10" and 194 pounds and you're fighting full contact, you are going to get destroyed by someone
Right.
who's 6'4", right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, and that's what I just really think, like, okay, accurately identify your weight class.
Yeah.
What is your training going to be like? Obviously, we always want to do that. Do you want to do different things? Do you need to boost your, like weightlifting or cross training? Because cross training is super important too.
It
So
is. It is.
I remember, like, I kind of picked up weights here and there, but I didn't really know what I was doing. And I'll tell you this: I knew I improved the most going into this 1 year for two different reasons. One, I really improved my weight training, but I also did it because I wanted to say F you to Greg Betlock, because I wanted to beat that guy, because he just got picked up on Paul Mitchell, and he deservingly so, by the way. All right. He had the fight of his life, and I would have picked him up if I was Paul Mitchell after that fight. But I wanted to be like, sucker, I'm better than you. All right. So I would stay out of his division, but now I'm like, forget it. I'm beefing up. I'm going to be in your division, and I'm going to beat you. All right. So it was part of that, but I had to have a way to do that. Now, here's the hard part. As kickers, Jeff, you can attest to this as well. It's hard to have the dexterity in your kicks that great kickers have with mass, right?
Right.
When you have larger mass legs, it is hard and challenging to move your leg the way a very talented kicker can do. So that was always the struggle for me. I went from like being in the high 160s to the low 170s to now I'm in the high 180s.
Right.
The heck am I going to? But my legs didn't really improve mass very much. They did, but it wasn't very much. I never did a deadlift. I was kind of afraid of squats, but I did them a little bit. But if you're improving your weight, 18 pounds, and you're not really doing a lot of squats, like, whoo, you better be at a very low body fat percentage, right? So that part's important. Now, the cross training part that I mentioned, they're not rare anymore, right?
No,
Speed, strength, and agility facilities, they're all around. They're everywhere. I mean, Jeff, you live in the middle of sticks, and you probably have one near you, right?
Yeah. There's a lot.
If there's one near Jeff, there's one near everybody else. Okay.
Correct.
And they're fantastic. I think there's one around here. It's literally called Speed School. All right. Go in there. If they don't have any idea what your sport is, talk to them about it. Tell them what you want to do. Go in there with a group of 10 people and say, listen, we're going to come in. There's going to be 10 of us. We want to come in from this time to this time. Do you have a coach that can just train the group of us? And they'll give you a fantastic rate if you do it for like 3 months. And then boom, they're going to love it because now they got this guaranteed influx of cash coming in, right? And you have a personalized coach that's going to know you for 3 months straight and is going to see you improve. And you're going to, Jeff, have you ever been to these places before?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right. You've never been more afraid of a treadmill in your life, right?
Right.
So you get on one and they say, all right, you're going to run for 5 seconds. You're going to hold it for 10 seconds, the bar, and then you're going to let go and run for 5 more seconds. And I'm like, that seems like the dumbest thing in the world. That's all you want me to do? But then you realize the treadmill's going at 18 miles an hour.
Right.
And you're like, oh, what? I don't think so. I couldn't bike 18 miles an hour. Right. So, yeah. So when you let go for that last 5 seconds, it's everything you have to not get shot right out the back. So just by default, man, you're going to improve so much. It is a lot of fun too. Now, this is also the time of year where people train in the cold because it's cold, at least where I've always lived. Right.
Yeah.
It's cold. All right. And I remember talking to Roman Brundle about training. This dude, he trains like Rocky III, right? So he was like, oh yeah, I just kind of train by myself, but sometimes we'll rent out this gymnasium this basketball gym and we'll just kind of go train there sometimes. I'm like, well, what do you do? He goes, oh, Sonia and I will just go and we'll just hit pads. And I'm like, that's what? What? There's like no one for him to fight, apparently. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is the craziest thing. I can't even believe this. But he's like, no, I go and I go to my parents' basement and there's a heavy bag and I just go and I hit that. And I'm like, time out. You're one of the best fighters in the world. And you mean to tell me you just hit a heavy bag? Like, that's it? And he goes, yeah, but it's really cold there because there's no heat. So I put on like a winter jacket and I'm just kicking the heavy bag. And I'm like, time the heck out. You mean to tell me it's just like no heat whatsoever. You just kick. Have you ever kicked a heavy bag when it's just ice cold?
Yeah,
it feels like it's hitting you. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, oh man, right? I love hitting heavy bags. There's so much fun. You know, you have some fun. Like, let me hit a 360 round kick. No. I don't think I would ever hit a roundhouse kick on a heavy bag in that type of conditions, right? We are side kicks only. I wouldn't even want to punch that thing.
I had one in my barn for.
You have a barn?
I did growing up until it fell down.
From hitting the heavy fell down?
Yeah. It was so old.
Damn.
And we had a heavy bag in it. It was swinging all over the place. It was wild. I mean, I was young. I was 10. I wasn't making that much damage to it, but I was doing pretty good.
I think that's about how old I was when my dad got a heavy bag for us. And then he realized, like, oh, crap, this thing needs more reinforcement, like wherever I'm going to hang this. And he did it, and he did a great job. But it was like, I was like 11.
5 or 6 to about 10, maybe a little older, maybe 12.
Did you get leather or canvas?
I don't remember, man. It was so, I think it was, it was probably canvas.
No. My dad got white canvas, right?
Yeah.
When you're 11 years old, you don't know. You're just like, cool, let me punch it. And you punch it. You're like, never mind.
Yeah.
The rest of my knuckles are sitting on that bag right now. Right?
Yeah.
So leather is always way more forgiving than canvas.
Yeah. No, it was canvas. Yeah. But
so there's usually
those are great tips.
I want to wrap up kind of what I was talking about. There's usually something that someone wants to improve in, right? And what I think having an accurate assessment of where you're at and what that needs to be is really important. So too often we go into it being like, I need to get more reps, which is always true, right? It's always true. Like, I need to train more. I need to adjust my diet. I need to lift more weights. Like, all of these things are true. What specifically is the skill that you need to improve? And having an accurate assessment. Let's say you say, like, the thing you can hang your hat on is that, like, you're a great kicker. Accurately look at yourself and go, when was the last head kick I landed?
Right.
And if you're just kicking, and not to say that it's bad that you're doing that, but if they're not actually landing, maybe you're like, well, maybe my kick's just moving people. Am I actually scoring with this thing? Does it go above the head? Because if you're kicking and it doesn't go above the head, that's a danger to you. Right? You're in danger of getting hit. Don't fight Avery Plowden without a kick going by his face. Ooh, man. You will get back fisted for sure.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Alex.
All right, my bad.
Oh, no, you're good.
I went long.
So mine would be very similar, actually. It's like, there's a lot of different things. Look at your year and look at where there were some weaknesses. Maybe, when we're talking about forms, where was maybe your mistakes? Look at your pluses, look at your minuses, look at, really look at where you need to improve at, your wins, your losses, maybe who you lost to, what type of forms, they were doing, where you can tighten up, but also not copy what someone's doing, but find a way to stand out, like,
great point.
If you are having stumbles, in some stances, then you need to be doing stance drills all the time. If you are maybe getting tired, well, you need to be running your sections more and more and more, than what you are, right? If, your legs getting stuck, it's your kicks aren't as high as you want them, then you need to work on the kicking drills. you know. And again, of course, focus on cross training. One of the things for me is because I was working, and we talked about being a kicker and doing weight training last year and even into this year, like I have to really work my hip mobility because I'm doing way more weights and lifting, which does make them tighter. But also the point of it was for my stability to be better on my kicks and for me to be able to lock them more, which I have, but also for my power to be better. And on the other end, though, what else has been stronger is my stances as well. They're solid. Like I don't, have too many issues on that, especially in my Korean forms, maybe in openness sometimes, right? So I need to focus on, and same thing with you guys, just think of that. What happened here? Where were these mistakes at, right? The other thing is, what are your goals? You got to have clear goals of what you are doing, what you want. Why are you doing this, right? Because my goal for me is different than someone else, and some people as well, like being realistic. Hey, it was great for me being 8th place all year. I'd like to get in the top 4 this year. Those are different goals, right? Okay, well, I like to start winning my division. I've been 2nd and 3rd. I want to get a win this year, so you got to have those clear-cut goals. For other people, hey, I want to win overalls. I'm tired of getting runner-up. I want to win an overall grand. So what is it that's going to be the difference? Maybe you ask other people for, hey, what do you think are some things? Ask for feedback. I think a lot of times we don't want to do that because we want to, especially when we get to a certain level, we feel like, well, like at this point, am I asking for feedback, or is it going to sound like I'm complaining about losing or whatnot, right? Because sometimes there is that where there's always someone that as soon as they get a low score, they're right up to the judges and they're asking, well, what did I do wrong? What did I, and some people approach that very wrong, right? And sometimes that helps you with the judges. Sometimes it doesn't. Anyways, the other thing is,
I don't think in my life I've ever asked a judge.
Yeah, no,
I don't
usually,
and I don't want this to sound bad to a judge, but
right.
I think a better viewpoint would be eyes of somebody else that
Correct.
I know
Yeah.
was just watching me and was
Exactly.
watching the rest of the
usually
division.
That's usually what I do.
It's just-
But also
Yeah.
like if they come to me, then all right, I'm going to listen. I'm going to take it serious, but also know what form, like really study, especially if you're doing traditional, find the form that works for you. You know what I mean? Find that form that you feel like, hey, this is the one I want to attack. This is the one I want to go after. And not just because everyone else is doing it. And then, but at the same time, don't run away from form because a lot of people have done it. Because here's me, like I did that for years, and I didn't do
forever
from 2009 till now. And you know what? Diamonds I brought about in the past few, it's looked pretty darn good, I think. So, and it's worked, right? And I've won. So, so there is that, right? Find the other thing is, of course, find good people that you need to lift you up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it doesn't always mean the same person everyone else is using, but that person that's going to fit with you, right? That really looks deep inside of you and understands, okay, listen, because honestly, I'm going to tell you right now, this is what I'm dealing with now is people will come, well, what form should I do? Or can you teach me Oji? Can you teach me Moon Moo? And it's like, listen, I don't think that's for you right now. Maybe in a couple of years, maybe in a year, but let's work on the best form for you that's going to help you get there, right? Because I think that,
focus.
Everybody wants to learn, Anandai or one of these, and those are great, but not everyone needs to do that. Someone who really does a great job with that, and honestly, him and I feel like sometimes share a brain, is Joey Castro. Like he finds forms that fit you, and he says, "Listen, I'm a Shotokan stylist, but I don't know if you need to be doing a Shotokan form. It doesn't fit with your body type, or And then he'll be like, "Listen, you're a traditional Shotokan, you're a Shotokan black belt. I know everyone wants you to do these other forms like Oha and Dai and stuff, but what is best for you is what is your foundation, is your core, like, and it stands out when you do it.
What's your best form?
Right. And
Maybe
so
people don't know
really,
that. Maybe people just know their best form because that's the form they've always been doing. But let me
exactly.
use
No, no.
myself as an example. Maybe I
Yep.
just always looked at it, and for years, like I just looked at Quebec and I'm like, you guys are all doing Quebec, but I have a better Quebec than the rest of y'all. So I'm just
Right.
gonna keep doing that. But maybe I would have had a better Kwangay, or maybe just using
Maybe you
OG
could have
as
done
an
OG.
example.
Yeah.
Maybe I would have had a good OG, but I didn't test myself to think, is Quebec the best form for me? Maybe it's not. Maybe OG would have been better.
Right. Right.
And then to
Yeah.
take that, how do you take that on the CMX side?
So on the CMX side, I'm gonna be honest right now, the judges are looking for mistakes. Unfortunately, they're not looking for
mistakes.
they're not looking for what stands out and what makes this competitor the X factor of that competitor, right? And I think that's a big issue right now with judging is that they're just looking for any little thing because in a lot of their minds, like they're not really sure, you know.
Well, part of
So
it is just let's give credit to the competitors and the skill level of
yeah,
them. This is not
right.
a pod where we go, listen, back in my
Nobody
day,
good as
let me tell
these.
you, you
Yeah.
guys
Oh
wouldn't
no,
have been able to handle. That is not what this show is. We
no,
do not do
no,
that.
never.
Okay. And I'm
No.
going to say, I'm not guessing. I know that judges look at this and go, they're so freaking good.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I hope
Right.
they make a mistake because then I can give an accurate judgment call. Because without a
Correct.
mistake, I have an impossible job ahead of me. So,
But see,
Jeff, you're
that's
absolutely
the
right. They're looking for mistakes.
they're looking for mistakes. So really focus on your basics more than anything. And that's I mean, even the top competitors right now, I've heard, and people that win grands, I've heard people say about things about their basics. So everybody needs to tighten those up, right? Tight chambers, straight lines, clean lines, stances. You know, the biggest thing that I've talked about recently is the foot rolling up, right? Washing, you know, the knee washing in, the heel and the blade of the foot coming up on a lot of stances. That's a big deal, right?
I've
And
always had a
so
problem with knee
yeah,
washing in on back stances. I'm gonna be
yeah.
honest, like that was a problem for me.
So you see that a lot in front stances right now. Okay. So so there's that. But for me, you
Wait,
still
front
need
stance is
to
like with what? Back foot turning out?
yeah, or this is what's happened. A lot of the guys are going so low and all their weight's forward that their back leg is rolling up. Their foot is doing this the whole time.
What?
So
What?
that's happened a lot, big time. I
That's
mean,
so
in high
ridiculous.
level, some of the people that you see on stage winning, a lot of them are doing that. So,
Stop.
but, but a lot of
This is
people
what people
aren't
don't
focused
get.
on
Like
that or
guys that
seeing
like
it.
did
Yes,
crazy. I'm sorry. No, I'm gonna go too far. Go ahead, Jeff. I'm sorry.
yeah. So anyway, so that's happening, and that's on both and all sides, right? So there's that, but still think of the X factor because here's the
Yes.
deal. You may not win an overall grand in your life. You may not you may not win a NASCA title. But you know what? If you had that X factor and you focus on that, no one can take that away from you and people will remember you. Here's the deal. Like, yes, I've won a lot of things, but I also haven't won a lot of things. And when I show up at a tournament, people know who I am. Not just because of this show. All right. The show has helped the past 4 years, but because
Yeah. But
of
in the
me
decades
holding
that you've
true to
been
who I am.
winning, this show
Right.
was like this much.
Right. But not even winning, like, because there's a lot of times I don't win. But and again, like, yeah, maybe I win my division and make it to stage, but I haven't won overall grands, you know, on NASCA. I've won a lot in NBL and I won as a junior on NASCA. But
When do you
you know,
think people kind of nationwide was just kind of assumed that everybody, for the most part, knew about you?
funny enough, it was probably 2000 or 2001 with Intergalactic. I mean, even though I won like ISKA overall in '99, on ESPN with my traditional form. And maybe people know who I was, but that was probably, I would think, when everyone kind of knew everyone knew about me or wanted to watch me because I was doing Intergalactic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was and
I think it was 99
honest,
for me.
and be honest, I got a lot of fifth places with Intergalactic. I got a lot of finalists with Intergalactic. I got a lot of second place. I mean, I won some, but but again, what it is that makes that's going to make you long lasting and people to remember you is that you took a chance on something. You had that, if your facial expressions is it, if you were really good at choreographing your forms, people are going to remember that, right? If you have amazing kicks, people are going to, if you do something that is different than whatever other people do, that's it. If you do the highest level flip, you know what? People can't take away that Shaquan did a double backflip in his form and landed it, that's huge. That's the complete opposite of what I do. But people remember my kicks or the knee kicks, So there's a lot of things that I feel like, yes, that you can find a way to stand out, So, even right now, let's be honest, we've talked about it this week. It's a hot topic right now. You know what? DG and Pia, they've made a name for themselves with the musical traditional. And it's been great and it's won. You know what? And so now guess what? They're going to go to that next level with whatever that is with their regular traditional form. So find a way to stand out, but don't forget your foundation and your basics. And then focus on your goals of what you want and find that form that's going to work for you. I know for me, I'm looking at it now like, okay, I've been this close every time. What is it going to take? Someone even told me a day, I just don't think it's going to happen for you, Jeff. You know what? I could accept that, or I could tell them F off. Sorry, guys, but
all right, I'm going to say what I just messaged you privately. So,
yes, we need to.
So when you started saying that, like it may never happen for you, but it could just be like essentially what you're saying is a monumentous moment that people talk about and remember, i.e. Carmichael Simon doing the crow. We've mentioned that so many times on the show. He talks about it on the show, right? Yeah, that's a big one. Kalman going blindfolded doing double sword. Oh my goodness. Right. That was a monumentous moment. I'll never forget. Right. Kim Do has so many of these moments. Right. Right. And not just in forms either, by the way. Right. And fighting as well. All right. But he just thinks of different things. And yeah, I didn't see Kim Do winning multiple overall championships. Right.
As an adult. No.
Right. As an adult. Right. Which I got. This is so ironic. Somebody just brought him up to me yesterday. I'm going to tell you how. So, but the things that he did in his forms, they were just things you were like, how does somebody even think of this? Right. How do you even think of doing that? Right. And that's what made him so great is he would do things that are wildly entertaining, great martial arts skill wise, and it's a fantastic form. And it made you jump out of your seat and it was still technically good. Yes, anybody can make technical mistakes. He wasn't as clean CMX wise as Matt Emig. Matt Emig was probably the cleanest who did tricks like that. Of course, I believe that. But yeah, there's Matt Emig as far as, technique and then everybody else. All right.
Right.
Well, Marcel's right there with him. All right. Marcel Jones. All right. But anyway, that's nitpicking at that point. I think the things that he did when he would do, what was that? He did like a combo one time where he did like a windmill and like went back up to an axe kick aerial. Like who thinks of this crap? Right. It was just amazing. Right.
Yeah, definitely.
But
I mean, and also my favorite thing,
really do a round-out flash kick.
Right. Well, I mean, he was the first person to do a flash kick. Actually, people don't even know that he was the first person to do the flash kick. And the way that he did the flash kick wasn't like what people do now, like the split leg. He actually jumped up and did the front kick and tucked his other leg and like kicked it up the first time that it was done. It was really
That's
cool. Yeah.
awesome. All right, can I
Yeah.
tell you how I was talking about him yesterday?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So I'm sitting down and I'm watching Sunday Night Football, right? And there's a group text. Buddy of mine takes a picture of this whiskey that he's drinking and says, I'm just watching the football game. And I'm like, there's some irony. I'm doing the same thing. So I take a picture of my glass while I'm watching the same game. Somebody else does the same thing. And they were like, yeah, I was actually going to watch like a martial arts movie like Ip Man. And I'm like, that's amazing. And they were like, yeah, you told me to watch Sidekicks and now my kids love it. You said you knew some guy doing like machine gun kicks around. And I'm talking about Kim Do, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I actually do know him. And they didn't believe me. And I'm like, no, there's extras in that movie that we all kind of know in our circle, right? Isn't that kind of strange? Just literally just came up last night.
Oh, if you guys haven't watched the Fist Kicks and Flicks episode where we talked about sidekicks and we had on Wayne Wynn, that was really cool. It was myself and Eugene that interviewed him and talked to him. That was a fun episode. So go and check that out. I don't know the number yet, but look up Sidekicks, Fist Kicks and Flicks. That was a cool one just to hear about that and to talk about all the different martial artists that were there and how they filmed that and made it look like a tournament. So, but yeah. All right, man. So
they should have
stand out
that other guy from Karate Kid. You know which one I'm talking about? Like the one who's actually like the real martial arts badass.
Oh yeah.
What is his name? I forget his name.
Yeah, I forgot his name too, but yeah,
anyway,
we could have him on. There's a lot of people we'll be working on. Let us know who you want on the show in the next couple of weeks, man. We have some fun things ahead. And I guess when are we doing this? The week before Christmas, we're going to reveal our Christmas presents to each other.
Oh yeah, man. Mine already got to you. Don't open that thing up, but I also did not wrap it.
No, you didn't. So I kind of know what it is.
What do you mean you know what it is?
Well, I don't know what it is, but I have an idea because of the bag, but I don't know. Maybe I should.
It came in a bag?
Yeah.
Doesn't everything come in the Amazon box? I mean, you get it from Amazon. It's supposed to come in that Amazon box that's got the paper tape on it.
It didn't. All right, guys. Also, we will have Wednesday's show with Peyton. We're going to come a week early this week as she's lucky. She's going on a cruise the next week. We got lots this month. I turned 40 this month as well, man. So it's a big month.
Okay, now are you and Shelly gonna do a big deal? Are you guys gonna make a party? What are you guys gonna do?
I don't know. I don't think so. Probably not.
Okay.
Probably not.
Can I throw in a suggestion out there?
Go ahead.
You can't do it for Christmas.
No, that's what's hard about it.
I know, but you were gonna throw the biggest New Year's Eve party that there is. I mean, it's gonna be monumentous, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna cater the thing. You're gonna bring in this and that and everything. So I'm gonna say, Lindsay and I are throwing a Christmas party this Saturday, which you're gonna be at, by the way. I already got your RSVP.
Okay.
Thanks. You and Shelly are coming. Thank you. Dude, the food. You're never gonna just take a guess. Take a guess on the food alone, not the drink. The drink was something. Take a guess how much on just the food.
1,000.
1,500.
Oh man! All right, I was close.
And it's not like this is a massive place. This is just my house.
And that's all buffalo cheese dip, right? That's all buffalo cheese dip.
No, we're not gonna have buffalo cheese dip because I will die.
You will die.
But Lindsay's gonna make her guacamole, and I guarantee you that's gonna be that's gonna be the first thing taken. Like it'll be boom, gone like that. She makes a charcuterie board, and her guacamole like it is insane, right? But you can't live in Elgin, Illinois, and not have good guacamole because everybody out here is Spanish.
Okay.
So if anybody knows anything about Elgin, you know I'm telling the truth.
All right, guys, let's wrap this up. Awesome job. Great weekend again. Congrats to the Polides, Mike and John, and everyone, Team MBAC. everyone that helped. Ronnie Presley, Larry Carnahan, Robert Leclerc, all those guys did a great job coordinating and helping. So, and we will see everyone next year. Start getting ready and preparing and listen to this show. Listen to tomorrow morning when it releases on the pod as well, or go back and watch it on our YouTube channel or on Facebook. And guys, like,
let's see some of these reviews, guys. Where's all the reviews? Come on, drop us some 5 stars.
Let's go.
This has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. See you guys next week.